Welcome to KeepItReal Studios, the only channel on YouTube that keeps it real. UFC 306, O'Malley vs. Dvalishvili, took place last night in the Sphere. The Sphere looked absolutely amazing, man. I was watching this from home on my TV and even I was blown away. I wonder what it was like just to be in that spectacle, man. It looked amazing. It looked something straight out of Mortal Kombat. The visuals were impressive, man. And honestly, I don't even know how they're going to just go back to regular UFC after this. I feel like almost every pay-per-view should be like this, man. It'll be such a crazy feeling and crazy vibe. A lot of UFC fighters came into the Sphere to experience that once-in-a-lifetime moment. A lot of celebrities were also there as well. Overall, it was a great card, though. I would love to see them return back to the Sphere. I know Dana White said it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing, but I think it would be cool if they brought it back in the future. Now, just moving on to the main card of the night. Starting off, we had Ronaldo Rodriguez versus Osbourne in a flyweight bout. Overall, this fight was a crazy, man. It started off insane, man. It looked like Odi was about to get Ronald out, but this guy managed to survive and put it on Ode for the next 2 rounds after that, man. It was a crazy fight. It looked like he was going to get submitted, tap out at any moment in time. It was such a good fight. Definitely one of the fight of the nights. I would definitely love to see Ronaldo Rodriguez go up against somebody like Brandon Royale in the future. It would be a cool fight to see, man. The next fight on the card was a lightweight bout between Daniel Zellhuber and Esteban Ribovics. Overall, this was a crazy, insane fight, man. It was such a striking clinic, man. You could tell these two boys were trying to take each other's head off from the beginning of the start, man. And there was a moment where Esteban had Daniel hurt. It looked like he was going to put him out, but this guy channeled his inner Muhammad Ali and kept dodging every punches. I felt like he didn't even know where he was. At that point, he was just moving like he was in the Matrix, man. Overall, this was a crazy fight. This was also another fight of the night to me, in my opinion. Definitely a striking clinic and definitely something you can look back on in years. The next fight on the card, it was a featherweight bout between Brian Ortega versus Diego Lopes. And overall, this seemed to be like the people's main event. And can I say, Diego Lopes absolutely delivered, man. I didn't even see the shot that he threw at Brian Ortega, man. I missed it. Next one moment, Brian Ortega standing next to me is rocked, man. It was such a crazy moment. The fights were very good. Diego Lopes definitely showed levels. He definitely showed that like he's a top contender in the featherweight, man, and I'm glad he won because now he went from 12th rank to 3rd rank, and I believe he just shakes up the whole featherweight division. Definitely a dream match of mine would be Max Holloway versus Diego Lopes. That would be absolute fireworks, and I believe that something's probably going to happen in the future. But overall, this was a crazy fight, man. I was worried going into the second round because usually Brian Ortega always gets hurt and always has the best comebacks in UFC history. But this didn't happen and Diego Lopes was able to seal the victory. Moving on to the co-main event of the night. Grasso went up against Valentina Shevchenko for the Women's Flyweight Championship of the World. The fight was actually pretty good. It wasn't, I would say, was the greatest fight of the night because, you know, we had a lot of fights that delivered on 306. But however, it was still a very good fight. I believe Shevchenko was very dominant and she did very good. There were moments where Grasso did have her hurt. You know, it looked like she was about to submit her. At one point, it looked like he had her in a very tight guillotine. But however, Shevchenko still stayed very patient. And you could tell that she really came prepared for this fight. She seemed very locked in, especially throughout fight week. I feel like she knew exactly what she had to do in order to win this fight. And I felt like Grasso was just very frustrated. You know, she was trying to keep it on the feet. Even though it was on the feet, she couldn't even really do much as well. But overall, congratulations to Valentina Shevchenko. Congratulations to her getting her title back. And I'm excited to see what she does next. For the main event of UFC 306, we had Sean O'Malley versus Merab Dvalishvili for the Bantamweight Championship of the World. And if I'm being honest, this fight kind of was very underwhelming. I felt like just in the build-up of this fight or just leading up to this fight, Sean O'Malley did a lot of trash talking. And the way he was talking, it made him seem like he was going to knock out Merab in the first round. Then this fight went to decision. Not much really happened throughout this fight. I would say Merab was very good, though. He was definitely dominant. He did what we were all expecting him to do, you know, put on the pace, show his cardio, go takedown after takedown. I'll say for that, Merab did very good. But on Sean O'Malley's part, he looked very flat. He didn't look like he was on point that day. That was kind of a letdown for me. I felt like Sean O'Malley was talking a lot and he just didn't deliver that night. However, the fight definitely had its moments. You know, Merab was fighting Tim Walsh. He was fighting Herb Dean. At a moment in the fight, he started kissing Sean O'Malley. Then he walked away, but the bell never stopped. And Sean O'Malley gets a sneaky hook on Merab Dvalishvili. Yeah, overall, that was a funny moment for me. And it's crazy because that was like the most entertaining part of the whole fight that night. However, congratulations to Merab. It was a very well-deserved victory. And Merab is loved by the UFC community, so I'm excited to see what is next in store for him as UFC champion. I believe that he's going to have a lot of fun fights and there's going to be a lot of just funny and amazing things coming from him as champion.
So much respect. Enjoy. Thank you.
Overall, I'll give UFC 306 a rating of 7 out of 10. I'll say this Sphere was very magnificent and there were a lot of amazing fights on that card that night. My only reason why I'm not giving this a higher rating is because of the 2 championship fights that we did have. I really felt like they didn't really deliver, especially just the champions themselves. I felt like Alexa Grasso didn't really do much against Valentina Shevchenko. One thing I did notice that people are failing to mention is these ladies are still technically in a tie. Because if you think about it, Alexa Grasso won their first fight. Their second fight was a draw. Their third fight, Valentina Shevchenko won. So they still kind of need a fourth fight to settle it. But the way Valentina Shevchenko won that night, the fight doesn't necessarily need to happen again. Just moving on to the Merab and Sean O'Malley. Honestly, I'm not kind of too surprised. There are moments when I look at Sean O'Malley, I feel like he focuses on the wrong things. You know, if you look like fighters like Islam or Bilal, you're trying to fight for legacy. You know, Bilal's trying to fight for like Palestine. But if you look at what Sean O'Malley says all the time, he's always talking about how he just wants to be a star and bigger than Conor McGregor. So I feel like sometimes Sean O'Malley focuses on the wrong things. But I am a big fan of Sean O'Malley. I do believe that he can come back from this fight. Maybe fight Peter Yan in a rematch. That's what I'm thinking. I feel like that would be a very good matchup. That's it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And tell me some of your opinions on UFC 306. How did you feel about it? That'll be it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching once again. And don't forget to keep it real.